Okay, so intentions and distractions. My intentions for the call are to be a good host, make sure everyone feels happy and, has a drink in front of them, those kinds of things. And take notes on the agenda topics. Of course, I'm excited to hear the progress from everyone on cadCAD, the front end, the new Illustrator, and there's so much going on right now. It seems like every parallel or whatever dimension is full steam. So pretty excited to hear this call, but I have no real intentions myself and no distractions. And I'll pass it to Marco.
Thanks. Intentions. All right. So super excited to see the work that Luca has done last week. Amazing work on the front end. I shared a short video of the sliders and all the cool stuff that he pulled off. I was really amazed by his skills. So I'm super excited about it. My intentions are to share that excitement, to see the progress. As for distractions, a huge amount of work on my plate. A lot of people and teams waiting for me to ship something for them. So it's a huge distractions. But other than that, I'm cool. And yeah, I pass it on to Danny.
Hello. Yeah, no distractions at this moment, but I'm in the middle of this outer edge of this hurricane. So occasionally all of a sudden it rains and it's really loud. My intentions are just to share my progress, mildly apologize for it not being as far as I would like, and renew my commitment to get it delivered here in the coming days. And I'm excited about the new illustrations, and also I've been getting my head into the text rewrites and getting that flow feeling good, and I'm having fun with it. So that's what I got. I'll pass it over to Simon.
Hey guys. Intentions, well, as everybody mentioned a couple of times, we're here to hand off the front-end website of the cadCAD. It's finished. Yay! Anyway,
Wow.
That's the good news. In short, in terms of distraction, the construction started, but here's one distraction. And that's basically it. Yeah, so just to go through intention. The intention is to give Luca a little bit of more spotlight. He's the star here who made it all happen. I'm more like Griff. I'm the enthusiast in the group from my side. So yeah, that's it for the intentions, and I'll pass it on to Vitor.
Okay, I'm pretty excited. The front end and the video that Marco sent, it's really interesting. And I think my intentions are to see how it's going on in the front end and align what is the progress in the cadCAD and probably say what I expect to do in the next days. And distractions, I think pretty much nothing. And let me see who is in here. Santiago, maybe.
Hi everyone. Well, this is my first call. Yeah, I think that I need to talk to you about my distractions, intentions, and what I'm excited about, right? Okay, well, so I got distracted last week because I had a couple deadlines at work, and I was also participating on a hackathon. My intentions for this call is to basically sync with all happening in the Common Simulator project. And I'm excited to keep working and keep learning more about the common stack. Okay, so I'll pass it to Andrew.
Nice.
Hi, folks. I'm here to hear what else is going on in the thing, and also me and Vitor, we have a few updates on introducing random seed into cadCAD, but I'll let him talk about that. So distractions, a lot of work has been popping up on my end, but I knew that for this week. So yeah, I'm prepared. I guess Luca hasn't gone yet.
Yeah. Hi folks, distractions pretty much none, except I'm going out after this meeting, and intentions, yeah, go over stuff we've done and pretty much bring it to a close in on the ending of the project. That's pretty much it. Griff.
Yeah, I think that's everyone, right? Man, a lot of
I
people
think so.
today, man. Well, great job, guys. Man, I'm glad you could pre-funk with us, Luca. Maybe we'll start with you guys then, with the so you can get on with your party plans if need be. You want to tell us the updates on the front end? Simon
Sure.
or Luca? Yeah.
I'll go with just general updates, and then Lucan can talk about coding and tech and stuff, and the fun stuff. So let me just share a screen like the usual. Really shortly. There we go. I think it's here. Yeah. So a lot of this we've already seen.
Maybe do it in Chrome.
It's Brave, so basically it's the same. Okay, so I can skip. This is the part that we've seen many times. So the interesting updates are on the areas of the input fields forms where we, Luca integrated the initial assets and made it work, and all the inputs are connected. So this actually works and saves the 43 founding members. So this is the new addition where we have those funding pool commons reserve, where things are moving and things are happening. Then we got some text. Then there's the funding pool, which also has its own animation, the cylinder filling in. Decision-making process. Here we go.
Yeah, that's the one I actually will need some.
Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, Luca will go into depth, but this is the one, the only level we had some, let's say, questions, and Sam had some input here, and Marco as well, is the question of that graph interface where we were discussing how to actually put all the parameters so that they are readable and understandable. So I'm seeing maybe some feedback and some rework on this section, but the inputs are here. There's some visual representation of data, so the gist of it is there, let's say. And what's next?
I just arrived a little bit late, but I am here.
Okay, all right, Sam. I'm just going through the latest additions in the front end, which basically concern the inputs parameter part. So as you see, I'm already at the percentage funding. So yeah, this is the last part, the wallet and funding pool, how much you want to go back and forth. And this is what I've seen so far. So let's see what happens. I don't know if I've set the numbers to get some kind of a result fast. Yay! There we go.
Wow.
That was really fast.
That was okay, yeah. So yeah, and we got the results. Looks cool. This is the first time me seeing it as well.
Wow, yeah, it looks really cool.
Wait, so you're saying that the backend actually worked?
Yeah, we did get some kind of well, as I said, I will give Luca the spotlight in a minute just to give you all the technicals if you want to ask him something in terms of communication with backend. So you have the link here, where as usual, I'm going to put it in Telegram, right? So to update it, you can basically try it out for yourself at this point. Yeah, and then it's play again and Back to the Future. So that's everything that we've seen so far, right? So you have the link, so play with it a little bit. And from my end, the only thing that I would be interesting, Griff, I think that's primarily your department, basically, and Marco, I would say in combination with Sam, if they have some feedback, I would perhaps like to arrange some kind of a acceptance criteria, maybe, that we know at which point we are considered done. So we can go into the whatever we need to do, you know, if there's some design changes, copywriting changes, things, and see what's there to be done. And because, you know, as per our initial agreement, we're basically now delivering the initial part of the work, and I would just like to have, you know, some kind of guidelines to know actually when do you consider us to be done. So it's usually called acceptance criteria. So Griff, from you or Marco, if you can just, the two of you, maybe, since from my end, you two guys were the lead on this, figure out when do we put the stop and go with, you know, like all again from the beginning until the end, you know, feedback, factoring, bugs and things like that, right? So I would simply like to go at this point where we're done with development, and we are now in some kind of a QA or testing phase, and just to gather all the data and see from that phase what you actually guys want to change, or maybe, you know, do some updates on everything, and then we can talk from there, you know. So that's my initial and my intention for today, just to get your feedback on terms, where's the goal? And that's it for me. So Luca, Sam, Andrew, you guys, if you want to have some kind of a technical, you know, exchange with you, go ahead. Luca, if you, I would give, you know, the mic to Luca to, if he has anything to point out at this point, just to let you guys know, and then you can, you know, fire your arrows at him. Okay, that's it, Luca. You can go.
I'm talking and it's muted. I've actually noticed that when I put the founding members or hatchers, as we call them, like more than a few, the exact number I tried was 23, and then it failed. And we have like minimum 3 and maximum, I'm not sure. So that's the one that's breaking stuff. Minimum is minimum 3, maximum 150, and yeah, it breaks with higher numbers maybe. And yeah, about the simulation score and the generally the values that will be output from the API, because you've mentioned the collateral probably won't be there and stuff like that. So, and yeah, that level 5 graph, where it's yeah, the first graph in the inputs, I mean, it's kind of there reactive and stuff, but it isn't the proper function to draw the whole graph. So we'll have to go over that part. Probably I can go with Sam and check that stuff out.
Yeah, if I can just interject, Marco and Sam, if you can help Luca, you know, to get to the final point. I think, you know, Sam has an input in terms of how to interpret the data, and Marco, you have to, you know, represent it. So I think it's primarily for you two guys to figure out. And the plus side is, Sam, that you can actually now go onto the simulator and poke it around and actually get the response from the API. That correct, Luca? So
yeah, the results are in the graphs at the results page.
So the only reason if we don't get the results, if we didn't really tune the numbers correctly and the CAD didn't actually compute everything, or is there any kind of edge scenarios that we can expect? Aside from that.
I just want to say that I am super happy of seeing that working, even if there are there may be some parts that are not working yet. That's not important. The thing is that we already have what we wanted. For me, it's what we wanted. The basis of all the architecture that we needed for all the right now it's more like we will be developing other levels, we will develop other features, but the basic thing is there, and probably it's almost ready to shield in a way. I mean, if it's not throwing the right parameters, well, we can change that. Especially, I would like to check out with you the conviction level, but I think that what we needed is what we have. It's all the architecture.
Yeah,
that's great. Awesome.
And if I don't know how to proceed from here, but I'm super happy to see that, guys.
Well, that's exactly what I was asking Griff, what do we do at this point where we're actually now implemented everything? So what do you guys see as the next step?
So there's a few things that you mentioned in there. So number one, the hatcher's cap number, we need to do some testing on that, but I assume it's pretty easy to change the cap number in the code, right?
Yeah, it's just like change the one number and it changes everywhere. So yeah.
So I don't think you guys need to be held accountable to change that one number. I think we can handle it.
Oh yeah, sorry if I can just, so that I don't forget, Luca, I didn't forgot to mention is, can you push the entire code base on their GitHub repository?
Yeah, I'll push it.
That is definitely something that we need. And then ideally, then we could start going more towards like issue management, maybe just for the next 2 weeks, which it sounds like is the plan. And I would love it to fall into the normal flow where we just write GitHub issues. If that's cool, that would be a really easy flow, I think, for most people to jive on. And just,
well, there's a couple of things in terms of the technical side we have to think about in terms of hosting and things like that, because the way that it works from us now, we have internal GitLab server and we have AWS servers that serve as development machines, So we have a pipeline streamlined from GitLab to AWS to a servers that basically allows us to build the app on every push to a certain branch. So we should probably figure out if we're gonna host it from now on GitLab, GitHub, to see, who's gonna fix the pipeline when the entire thing is going to be hosted. I mean, we have some kind of a, let's say, handoff protocol that we can offer, we can set up the servers and everything. But since we are a part of a much larger, infrastructure, at this point, I would actually like throw the ball to your side. Figure out how you guys want to host it, what you want to do, and we can do all the necessary stuff to get the integration done, from your side.
We usually use Netlify for that use case, and then I bet it's the same thing. When you make a change, Netlify pops up a preview, and then you can click the preview and you can see the changes. But we could also check in with Kai. He's who I would want to bring in on that. Sam, I don't know if you have any ideas there, but Kai is like our go-to for this.
In the case of the front end, it's not going to be an issue. We are using Vercel for TC, for example. There are many things out there. Choose let's choose the ones that are already used. So we can ask Kai or we can host it in Vercel. I am already paying $20 per month on Vercel, so maybe we can host it there as you want, as you want.
Did you say light sale? The AWS light sale?
But it's for the front end, and I guess that you are referring to the front end tool, right? The backend with cadCAD is already hosted somewhere else.
Yeah, well, I don't know where it's hosted, but the only question is if we're gonna put it within the same infrastructure, or we're gonna put it on something else, and then we're gonna have like some, server-to-server communication via API. That's basically. I would actually maybe think about the second option, so that the entire system has some kind of modularity with it, so that, if something crashes, it doesn't take the whole thing off, you still have a working front end, or vice versa, right? So, I mean, we usually have this AP-oriented architectures where we decouple, the front end completely, and then have backend and maybe some microservices. So, like to put it like a bunch of Legos, so, things don't cascade fail. Things like that. So, but basically it's up to you guys. You just give me the specs and we can set it up, or you can just give me a login or say just push here or whatever,
Vercel is pretty easy to use, but Griff, you were proposing something else, right?
Well, I'm open for everything. I just know what we usually do. And I do also know that Kai runs all sorts of servers for us and loves to do the DevOps side of things. So
sounds like our guy, yeah. He sounds like the guy to go to then.
Yeah.
So we might as well just bring him in, and he would be happy to be brought into this project. Obviously, it's a very cool, fun project to work on. So I think I would just say maybe we try to coordinate in the CSD dev channel about some sort of handoff meeting where we make a plan, where you guys make a plan. I mean, it's way out of my league. I can't say anything intelligently about this. So.
Okay.
Fair enough.
No, it's
Okay,
it's
sounds like a plan. So we're gonna break. What you say his name was?
Kai.
Kai,
Julian
so-
Royale. And I
Awesome.
tagged him in there.
So we're gonna set up another like sync and then bring Kai aboard and then actually figure out the plan of setting up the entire front end in environment of your choosing.
Yeah,
That's the
and
plan?
I think if we keep it to just Simon and Sam and Luca if needed, and Kai, everyone's in Europe time zone, it should be really easy to find.
In reality, also I'm not needed. If Luca can come on board, I'm just stepping.
Okay.
I think that it's going to be the most easy thing, much
Yeah.
easier than anything else. I mean,
Definitely. Okay.
we don't need a large group of people for that.
Okay.
And I guess that what the next step is to review everything just in case, just to see that it's publishable and begin selling with it. I think that's the thing.
Well, I don't know if I'm on the right track here, but Danny also had some changes in terms of copywriting, as I understood, right? So there will be that part also to change a couple of texts, right?
May I just quickly step in here? So yeah, we talked about acceptance criteria or the definition of done. I think this is like 99% done. We can say like, you guys did an amazing job. You can, move on, do other stuff, whatever. I come back when we need you again. But I would like to just go quickly through the demo, add some notes or whatever, send over to Luca for minor revisions or whatever, I noticed over there during this week, and wait for Danny to send us the editorial changes. And if there will be, and I guess there will be some swapping background images or something like that when Jody, our new illustrator, send us new images. So I'd like you guys maybe that hand over whatever a meeting dev call for the next week, so that maybe during this week we do these minor changes, revisions, and stuff like that. And that's basically it. So I don't think there will be much work to do. Maybe like an hour or two of work or something like that. Does that sound okay with you?
Yeah, I concur, Doctor.
Yeah, right.
I think the big thing is that those graphs at the end, the results graphs, are still showing the wrong data. So we probably need, the cadCAD side needs to make sure that you're getting the right 3 graphs to display. And
I think, as Sam also mentioned, we need somebody who actually understands the data to take a look at it, because even if we did everything okay from our perspective, it might be just the wrong field is connected to the wrong variable, which is like a 0.3 seconds coding assignment, but we just don't know because we are not that good at interpreting CAD data. So Sam and Andrew and the guys who build the actual engine should probably play around for the week, as Marco mentioned.
Okay, great.
Yeah, for the front end stuff, guys, I think basically it's done. You can consider it done. Other than like those minor revisions that I will be sending over to Luca and those editorial changes, and that's basically it. And of course, Sam, you go through that as well from a technical standpoint. So you're the guy who should be checking that part and seeing like if everything is okay. And that's basically it. But I don't think there will be. I don't think there will be much work to do. I think you guys nailed it. So
yeah, my big question is, where do we capture the issues?
I'm gonna for the starters, I'm gonna send Luca like regular on Slack just for this part, and once this is deployed to the GitHub, we can then take it over on the GitHub and do the other issues that we will,
Yes, I would say what Marco said. The moment you have grabbed control of your source code, you can add us to that GitHub repository, and at that point is officially open source within the cadCAM, how should I say, ownership, and you can guys, well, do what you want with it, but we can do all the issues and all the merging and everything then there. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Great.
So then, up until then, maybe if someone wants to work on it today, for instance, maybe we just make issues in the Common Simulator repo.
You can make from now on. It's just that I didn't say you can do it right on. It's just that probably we wouldn't take some notice of the issues for another 5 or 6 days before we actually get to them. But as I said, as I asked Luca right now, the latest code is on GitHub. So officially the source code is yours now. You have everything we have, and if guys want to go into front end and do stuff, you can make pull requests of your own. I don't know who's going to maintain it in the long runs, who's going to do the pull requests and things like that. So that's probably, I think, on your side to figure out, from managerial side, who's going to maintain the repository. But as I said, for the next, let's say, a week or two, we're here to help you the transition and to make everything, smooth, and for you guys to grab hold of the source code and, to do whatever you want with it.
It would be really, sorry, Sam, one last thing. It would be really cool to have maybe a front end handover, like overview of the code, maybe just like something we record, like here's how it's structured, just like, some kind of like call that we can put on YouTube and just post it on GitHub. And, if Vito or Sam or Andrew or any of the other devs in the CSD dev channel want to like have a basis of understanding, they can come to the call and ask questions and stuff like that.
Well, the entire frontend is written in our standardized stacks, so it's something that we use from project to project. We have already some kind of documentation, but I can go like record myself for 2 minutes and just explain, how the stack works, or maybe Luca can do that as well. It doesn't really matter, and we can put it. Yeah, we'll send you the video, and we can put you the transcripts and both the.
I guess I was proposing more of like a call like this, where that's really
sorry.
No, it's okay. Let's just focus. Just be us hanging out, but with Luca and you, maybe just deep diving in the code, showing us what's going on, like, and then if Sam or anyone else who goes to that call has any questions, they can just ask right there.
Well, I don't know any developer that doesn't like to brag with his code, so I don't know if there's going to be any problems with that. Luca is ridden with enthusiasm.
Yeah, I'll write some notes, checkpoints, so for the next time we gather, I can just organizedly go over them and.
Grip, do you think it makes sense to maybe merge the call with the DevOps and the actual, coding into one? Since I'm thinking that nobody except Andrew and Sam would be actually, I don't know, Vitro maybe interested. I don't know, Vitro, you're also a developer, right? You write code, right?
Hey, yes.
You also write code. You're a developer, right? I did.
Yeah, but I'm not that experienced like web developer, but.
Okay. I was just wondering how many people would be actually interested in, seeing the code. So I'm guessing that's 3 people.
Oh, yeah.
If we exclude me and,
So, I might do some recruiting. I wouldn't mind if we had 2 separate calls. Just if you don't mind.
Just a suggestion.
One for DevOps, and then it's focused on that, and then this other one. I don't think the DevOps one needs to be recorded. I guess it could be, but I don't think so. But then the other one would be like a show. We could have a show and a little show and tell. Yeah, like you said, Luca could brag about his code, and we could all ooh and ah and be like, what about that? And he's like, oh my God, you wouldn't even believe. Look at this, and then it's there for posterity. And because we do plan on building off of this thing, like hopefully a lot, so. Okay, cool.
Well, awesome. Then I think from front end, if Luca, I don't have anything to add, you guys can shoot any questions you have, but that's it from the front end updates, I would say.
Yeah, just two more cents. I've actually put the simulation constants like kappa and that stuff into the environmental variables, so you could easily change them without touching the code. And yeah, that's the one I want to just say.
Okay, so I think that the plan is very good. During this week, during this week, we do the last reviews, and if we can, the copies. And in the next week, we have this call. Can it be in the same call of the common simulator, or you want to have more calls, like one for the code review, not code review, code explanation, and another for the simulator and next steps? Because I think that it could be in the just dedicate the next call to the code explanation.
Yeah.
And from there, in the following call, we already have the ownership in some way that we understand the code. We know it's like release version 1, and from there, I guess that it will be already as ready as possible in order to, in 2 weeks, to release it to the world.
I'm cool with that. So next week, same time, same place, we do the code, like Luca shows off all of his work. And for the cadCAD stuff and the narrative stuff, we can just either stay late or even maybe skip a week. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Or we async in the chat if there's a scheduling problem. But I think it's fair to take this like slot, which everyone has reserved anyway, and make sure that we don't have to coordinate so hard around it. I think that sounds like a good idea. Any objections from cadCAD or narrative? No.
I have on that note, in terms of time, I will have starting next week something other in the 5 p.m. time slot. So maybe if we're talking about DevOps, I can join, but for Luca's review, I think he can manage it by himself. So yeah, my frequency will like go in the lower regions in terms of showing up for common sync, since I have other stuff to do and I'll have to put them in the same slot. I already have them, but I didn't go because of this. So if it's okay with you guys, you can ping me anytime if you need me to come on a sync, and I'll clear up. But if we're officially, at the point where we're done, I will skip the couple of next ones if I'm not, mandatory.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Cool. Okay, so then let's then move on to the next agenda topic. Well, any last questions for front end? Okay. Text rewrites. Danny, I see that you were typing. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, store just opened. Text updates. First pass is complete tomorrow for revisions this week.
Can you guys hear me? It's really, really loud here. Okay.
Yeah, we hear you fine.
All right. So I've gone through it with Jody, and she's working on the second illustration right now. I have not made it as far through the revisions as I'd like, but part of that was just getting my head around how to change the whole thing and going back and forth. So I expect to have this done before I go to bed tonight, so you guys will have revisions to put in there so we can see it and have those in by the next time we take a look at it next week. I'm here. I have some questions around, like, do we have a launch date? My goal is to have all of this complete within the next week, but knowing that we have 2 weeks so I can show it to some other people and get feedback would be really awesome.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, whenever you want, actually.
I would
I'm
say
not sure if it's my...
Sorry, Sam, you can go.
No, it's my computer is freezing.
Okay. I would say that on the cadCAD side, I think we have a little bit more than 2 weeks worth of work for sure to finish that. Probably more like a month, unfortunately, is my guess. To get it good enough to launch. It would be something that we could continue after we launch, but it's still, I think that we have probably a month before all the final pieces are finalized, are good enough.
I can't really hear you guys anymore.
Oh no. Okay. A month. Well, I'll type it to you, I guess. We hear you well though. Okay. And then I don't know, Danny or Marco, or any other comments on text rewrites? I guess the next one is Jody and the new illustrator. And I know, Marco, you were working with her as well as Danny, right?
Yeah. No updates from this week from Jody. So I'm looking to hear back from her. I pinged her today as well to see how she's progressing. She said she's gonna need like a couple of days, and she was like, optimistic to finish it by this week. But I guess she wasn't. She didn't, or something like that. But as soon as I get more feedback from her, I'm gonna post it in the group, in the Telegram. And that's basically it. We're awaiting 2 more illustrations for the intro part, and then the last 2, Good and Bad Future. I think these 2, and that's basically it. But I think since now you mentioned that we have like a month-ish sort of till the launch, I think that's more than enough time for her to finish everything. So yeah, I think we're good there.
Cool. So then next topic is cadCAD updates. So I don't know, I guess we could start with Vito. Do you want to talk about the random seed and you were mentioning your work for the next week?
Okay. So what we have now is that our simulation have some randomness. So the idea is that the next step will be have some integration tests to get sure that everything, like every part that we're testing through unit tests, work together. And for that, we would not be good to have like randomness. So we need some deterministic results. So the idea is that we can be able to toggle between randomness and deterministic results, like to use randomness maybe in the simulation and deterministic results to the integration test. So to do that, we searched if we could do like natively in cadCAD, but we can't. So we're doing it through NumPy. So what I was doing was like getting all the functions that use NumPy and change to the random state. So we can just like input if we want like random results, or if we want some specific seed have every time the same results. So we can put in like the parameter, like the simulation parameter. So everything in the code goes with it. So I was talking today with Andrew because there are like 2 functions that are using SciPy and another one that's using random. And I was figuring out like this morning how to do it. And I figured it out. So I'm finishing this now. And today I will send the pull request with everything changed. So probably like today we will have like the pull request in there, and you'll be able to toggle if you have like randomness or not randomness. And then the next step will be to start integration tests, which I need to align better with Andrew because I don't know so deeply the code to get sure like what specific how the tests need to be structured. So, but I think it will be fine. And I think that's all for me. And I was having finals in my university, and they are finished like yesterday. So I think I'll have a lot more time to focus on the project.
Congrats,
I think that's
man.
it. Thank you.
Yeah. Andrew, do you have anything to add?
No, great job, Vito.
Oh, and what about you, Santi? You have anything on cadCAD?
Yeah. During the weekend, I started to doing some reviews on how to do the sensitivity analysis on the cadCAD model. I was also experimenting with the 6 input variables or parameters that are fed into the model in order to see how the model behaves. So yeah, basically I executed like some kind of grid search where I move one input at a time in order to see how if the model if the final model gets like successful or unsuccessful. But what I figured out is that I am using like a baseline parameters of as a start point, but by changing each of the inputs individually, I am not getting like much much variation in the results. So that's something that I will be sharing to Griff and Andrew in order to analyze it. And because I think that the parameters at the moment is making much difference by changing them. Yeah, so that's something I still need to work on.
Yeah, and actually, this brings me up to something that was missing in the front end that I didn't notice. The good and bad results. Are those web pages part of the scope? Right?
Yeah, the good results are there, and the bad results are basically it's not like it should be the same page. So if I get the result is good, then I would just swap the background and stuff. I'll make it so it randomly pops good or bad results, maybe, or some toggle button, so you can switch between the good and bad until we have some indicators from the API whether it's good or bad.
Okay. So that last page with the graphs, that was the good results.
It's results page with the graphs. I think the good and bad outcome are after that. Like
after that, yeah. So yeah, just jump in. The results, the graphs are actually results, and then when you go back to the future, you then are presented with either a good future or a bad future.
Right. I didn't press the button. Now I see.
Yeah. So basically, when what Lucas says, when we get some values, what is determined, what is a good or bad future, then in each of these cases, we will, show the user that page. That is already existing.
We don't know if the results are good or bad.
Yeah.
Well, so
but it's there.
Okay.
Cool. You could put it in the revisions, Marco, maybe. Put that button.
Yeah. Adding it right now. All right, cool.
Yeah, I think we just need to make that really abundantly clear that, okay, here's the results. Do you want to go to the future, or do you want to see if your future is good or bad? Like that's the real thing. It almost felt like the results page was the end, right? But
yeah. Maybe the button before, like Back to the Future and play again. Back to the Future sounds like something go back. So maybe it's not the most.
Those are the labels that I think Griffith commented earlier back then and said like, yeah, let's put this here, but 2 buttons, and like if I play again, whatever, and then Back to the Future should give me those results. We can always change the wording later on as long as we have those buttons there, and so
or make them really highlighted, that it's like clear that they're supposed to push one of those buttons, that it didn't end. And maybe even change the name of results page. Maybe it needs to be like out, something else that doesn't feel so final.
Yeah. Well, those are the changes that we can always do in the code later on if we figure out it's something that is, users would like to see this or read that, or, we can always change it. So
yeah, very easy.
Maybe like see the future button or something like that, and then really big or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Everyone wants to see the future. Okay, so sorry, Santi, we derailed on your cadCAD inputs. You were talking about the sensitivity and metrics.
Yeah, so that's basically what I worked on until now. Yeah, so yeah, I still need to keep digging into it. Yep.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well, any final thoughts? Sem, you didn't have much chance to talk. I don't know if you had anything there. Everyone else basically presented.
My computer froze, and I couldn't be in the cadCAD part. But we can. I will be reviewing everything, how it is integrating the front end with the backend during this week, and in the next week I can do more questions on. I understand which is the correct.
Okay, awesome. Well, we finished early again. That's nice. thank you guys for the time. Amazing progress this week. Man, it really feels like this thing is so close to done. And we have a full cadCAD team to finish off the final piece. So I think we're looking pretty good. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you again next week for a special edition where it's just deep dive into the code.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, thanks.
Right.